This is LA's first.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. We're all about manifestation, transformation, and breakthroughs. It's time to claim your birthright of prosperity, vitality, and love. So grab your tea or coffee because together we're awakening the world. May you live your truth. Are you ready to take a big leap, a quantum leap in your money breakthrough? Well, if you are, this podcast is for you. This is the Dr. Erin podcast. We come together to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with universal law. We truly believe and know that when somebody awakens, they have a gift and message to bring to the world. And together, we're awakening the world. In fact, our mission is to awaken 1 billion people. And how I know we will fulfill upon this mission is by developing world-renowned spiritual entrepreneurs, spiritual coaches, spiritual practitioners, law of attraction ministers, and yes, doctors of divinity. So let's do this thing. We are on a series, a money breakthrough series. We're on number 10 of 12. So today's title is The Big Leap. Are you ready to conquer your inner fear and take life to the next level? This is the question. Yes, if it's not a hell yes, then this podcast is not for you. So The Big Leap, it's a very well-known book in the coaching world by Gay Hendricks. And it's all about your upper limit mindset and really getting out of your comfort zone and looking at what fears are there, what do you need to let go of, and how are you going to get to the next level, right? So Gay Hendricks says, each of us has an inner thermostat setting. When we exceed our inner thermostat setting, we will often do something to sabotage ourselves, causing us to drop back into the old familiar zone where we feel secure. So my question for you today is, what's your comfort zone, right? We've all seen that little symbol that has a circle that says comfort zone. And then it has an arrow pointing out of the circle, and it says magic. Magic and mystery lie beyond the comfort zone, right? Don't confuse comfort with happiness, right? We all think, and I remember thinking this as a little girl, thinking that one day you'd like arrive to some place in your life and it would all work out, and you'd have enough money, you'd have the house, you'd have the kids, you'd have whatever. And I just remember that was like one of the biggest like aha moments as I was adulting, right? Was realizing like, oh, life you keep having to grow. You keep getting uncomfortable. You keep having to, we're not designed to stay in one place. We're designed for growth. Life is a masterclass. And so let's break this on down. This book is an interesting book because it really does talk about what does it take? And so I want to just have you kind of break this down within yourself. What's your thermostat, right? If each of us has an inner thermostat when it comes to money, what's your thermostat? My thermostat used to be that anytime I shopped, I had to either go to the sale rack, right? I had to always save. I couldn't afford full retail. Like that was my kind of like just the way it is. You know what I mean? What's your thermostat around, right? My thermostat, for many years when I was in my 20s, before I began to save and saved $1 million and was still feeling like total scarcity, is I never allowed myself to eat out because I was saving money. I would never I never ever paid for a trip. There's no way. Why would I ever spend anything that wasn't going towards saving money? Right? Where's your inner thermostat? Maybe your thermostat is always to be in debt. And you're like, I love to shop, and my thermostat is that I'm always in debt. And then I get stressed about debt, right? What's your thermostat? What are you comfortable? What's your identity? And one of the reasons why fear is such a big part of having a big leap, a quantum leap in your money breakthrough, is because we recognize that fear is kind of like a thermostat, right? What's your normal? What's your identity? And why fear is so interesting in taking the quantum leap and the big leap is because it's actually a threat to your identity. Who would you be if you weren't your money problems, right? Who would you be if you weren't saying, I can't afford that, I can't afford it? It's so fascinating because I have all these different friends, and we're actually going to get into this in the next podcast, creating your inner circle of abundance, right? But it's really interesting because each person I'm around has different conversations of their comfort zone, and you can listen to their identity. So my question for you is, what's your identity around money, right? Dan Sullivan is a great life coach, one of the OGs in coaching, and he talks about the glass ceiling. And each and every one of us has to take a look at what is our glass ceiling. And as entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs, Generally, our glass ceiling might be, maybe it's 100,000, maybe it's 200,000, maybe it's 300,000. And you're constantly like staying in this one place. You can't quite break free or past that comfort zone, that glass ceiling. And it's the same with your own way of being in money. What's your comfort zone? I want you to write, you can pause this podcast if you want, but I want you to think about what's your comfort zone? Is it okay if you are making whatever $3,000 a month, or maybe you're someone who's used to making 10,000, but you can't quite break through that. Whatever that is, what's your comfort zone? Are you comfortable when you only eat out, but it can only be a lower end restaurant? It can't be a high end restaurant. Or I can only, I can't afford X, Y, and Z, but I can't afford X, Y, and Z, right? What is your comfort zone? What's your comfort zone? And we want to take a look at what's the fear. And I've been noticing and taking inventory within myself of when I'm getting out of my comfort zone. Because we recognize there is this law of supply and demand, which we already went through in one of the money breakthroughs. But the law of supply and demand is like, until you push yourself and get out of your comfort zone, that demand that you demand from yourself, from your subconscious mind, that you demand from the universe can't work its magic. Right. So where's that fine line? It's like almost on the edge of the comfort zone. So say your comfort zone is, I'm comfortable with having X amount of a mortgage or rent. I'm comfortable with making X amount of money. I'm comfortable for only paying for these amount of services. I'm comfortable only eating out once a week. All these things are like comfort zones. So what happens when you push yourself? What happens when you commit to something, right? What happens when you go, I'm going to, take on that personal assistant. I'm going to take on that bigger team. I'm going to take on a bigger place for, the company or for my family or for whatever it is. And I don't know how exactly, but I'm going to figure it out. Right. And we don't want you to do financially, we would never give advice of someone to go spend money when you're not comfortable with it or whatever it is in your, this is your decision. This is what's up to you. Right. For me, I've been really looking at this because if I stay in my comfort zone and move real slowly, that's fine. But what if you took that quantum leap and you committed to the COO of your company? What if you committed to taking on having someone come into your business or something that was, going to free up a lot of time? What's possible, right? If you stay in your comfort zone, you're going to stay exactly where you're at. So in order to have a money breakthrough, this is why, having a coach or a mentor or whatever, usually when you invest in yourself, and we're going to get into that in actually the 12th podcast of Money Breakthrough, when you invest in yourself, when you put yourself in a uncomfortable situation of coming up with money to invest in yourself, things happen because you have to rise to the occasion over and over again, right? Deepak Chopra says commitment is the ultimate assertion of human freedom. Commitment is the ultimate assertion of human freedom. It releases all the energy you possess and enables you to take quantum leaps in creativity. When you set a one-pointed intention and absolutely refuse to allow obstacles to dissipate the focus quality of your attention, you engage the infinite organizing power of the universe. Do you get that? Like, what if you decided, I decide today that I'm going to live in prosperity, right? So what would that look like? Let's just try this on for a minute. Would it be that you hire that coach that you've always wanted, but you think, I can't afford that, right? Would it be that you move to a city that's a little bit more expensive than you're used to, but there's something in your soul? It's like, I know I would expand. I know I would grow. Is there something like, say it's that you're, needing to have a new environment and up your game and in even your automobile, or having somebody come into your company or whatever that is? What would it look like? Like, just paint that picture for a minute. What would it look like if you didn't ask how, you actually just committed? What if you just committed and you just had faith, right? On the front of the book of this, The Big Leap, there's a picture of a goldfish in a small little round fish tank, right? Like what do they call it? A goldfish tank? I don't even know, forgot what it's called. And and they're jumping, the little fish is jumping up to a bigger little fish tank. And the point is that when we take the jump, it's the unknown. It's scary. It's actually really uncomfortable. But we have to know that the universe is going to catch us, right? This is what we teach in society, faith, right? Faith is knowing the power of the mind. Faith is knowing not some outside entity is going to catch us. The faith is understanding that the power of the mind, that if when we decide that all, like Deepak Chopra is saying, that the entire universe is going to conspire. The mind is powerful. The mind will organize when we say, I'm doing this. I don't know how, but I'm doing this because I'm here to grow in this lifetime. I'm not here to stay stagnant. I'm not here to stay, comfortable. I'm here to grow. I'm here to know my birthright of prosperity. I'm here to know my birthright of abundance. I'm here to say yes to myself. I'm here to say, I deserve the support. I deserve to have that great coach. I deserve to live exactly where my heart and soul is going to thrive. I decide right now that this is the truth and this is who I am. And so in this, I say, this is important. This is important to take a look at where you're holding yourself back, where you're sabotaging yourself, right? Where is all that? As Gay Hendricks says, each of us has an inner thermostat setting. When we exceed our inner thermostat setting, we will often do something to sabotage ourselves, causing us to drop back into the old familiar zone where we feel secure. You can be a billionaire and not live abundantly. Talk about the billionaire. There's a story of a billionaire who got stressed over the price of toilet paper. I don't know if you guys have ever met people that have lots of money. Some are very prosperous and some are completely in lack still. They're so concerned about saving money because their identity and the whole motive of motivation for them to have money is that there's not enough of it. And so they have to hoard their money. And I'm not saying that we're against having a lot of assets or having passive income or being rich, but we have to recognize that it's really about the full expression of your soul. So if you have a lot of money and you're still living in lack because you don't have enough, then that is not prosperity. That is not what we teach. Okay. This is not about accumulating a bunch of crap and thinking you're worthy. It's really about expressing your soul. So again, going back to, because we did this in another podcast, is if you wrote down everything, like I want you to again to go, if I really were to take a quantum leap, a big leap, and I really were to say, you know what, this is in my highest good. It's in my highest good to take that course to really learn how to master my mindset or skill set. It's really in my good to have a coach or a mentor. It's really in my good to join that mastermind. So I'm going to be around a bunch of other badass, spiritual entrepreneurs. It's really in my best interest to live in a place that's a little nicer so that my soul can sing a little bit more. It's really in my good. I actually deserve to have clothes that are not crappy hand-me-downs, whatever. I actually decide right now that I'm going to have, minimal closet with amazing things in it, whatever that is for you. Okay. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't have that. What I'm saying is that what would be your quantum leap? What would be your big leap? I know for me in the company, we're building team. And that's a lot of I get uncomfortable, well, what would it look like if I actually hired somebody for that much, per year? How much would it look? What would it look like? How much would I free up? And getting out, you have to know though, that this is, it doesn't ever end. It's not like you're going to get to one place and be like, oh, okay, I'm cool now. I have the trillionaire mindset. I'm good to go. No, like everybody is being developed. Everybody is being challenged because life doesn't stop being challenged. Life keeps lifing, right? We keep having to take the next quantum leap, the next big leap. So are you ready to conquer your inner fear and take life to the next level? I'm going to ask that again. I want you to really ask yourself this. Are you ready to conquer your inner fear and take your life to the next level? Or do you want to just stay where you're at? Do you want to stay comfortable? Do you want to pretend that you're going to take a few teeny little steps and grow a little bit, but still stay in scarcity? Right? What is your upper limit mindset? And this is really what the whole book's about. What's your upper limit mindset? So both in this book of Gay Hendricks and Dan Sullivan talk a lot about what's your upper limit mindset. So we have to think about how are you going to actually take that quantum leap? What's possible, right? So in this, it's about getting clear of what your genius is, what's your zone of genius. And they use a great little mantra or an affirmation, and it goes like this. I commit to dedicating all my purpose and energy to finding my own personal zone of genius so I can contribute the most to the world. So I want you to imagine not just that you have more stuff, you've taken a quantum leap and you have a bunch more things. It's about who are you going to become in that quantum leap? What if, right? What if I had all the support in the world and all I did was create content. That's my genius. My genius is communicating metaphysics into tangible, applicable things. That's my genius, right? So what if I just did that? How much more of a contribution is that to the world than if I'm doing a bunch of emails and, doing bills and doing things, right? Like, just think about it. It's not about us. It's about giving of service and giving of our soul to this world. So if I just stay little mini me and I stay in my little comfort zone of not having to take on another, big salary for somebody, that's selfish, right? It's selfish because it's actually not working for the highest good. So we begin to think of things like that. We begin to have a quantum shift in our consciousness and look at what's the bigger picture of everything going on. In this book also, they talk about the enlightened no, only saying yes to things that light you up, right? Like, imagine that you said no to going to that sales rack when you go in a clothing store, like me, and you, instead of buying, the next 10 things on the sales rack, I just said yes to one beautiful thing that I love. That's maybe 10 times as expensive, but it's one thing instead of buying 10 things that don't light me up. So what if in your company or in your life or with your friends that you only said yes to hell yes? I always say it's either hell yes or hell no, right? So we want to practice to take this quantum leap, getting clear of who we are really truly desiring to be in our quantum leap. What's that next level of ourself? What is it that we're truly committed to? Our enjoyment, our love. Imagine if you, did what you love. As they say, you'd never work another day in your life. This is the quantum leap. This is the big leap. Entrepreneurs are usually imprisoned by what they're good at. And Dan Solomon goes into the story where he had this guy that was in his mastermind, and the guy was genius, supposedly. And he started like 6 companies in the last, 6 months or something. And he said, but I've started all these companies and they're brilliant ideas. They're good, but I don't have enough time to do everything. And Dan Solomon said to him, I'm sure that when you were a little boy, you probably got a lot of attention for being so smart. You did all this stuff. You got attention from your English teacher. You got attention from your parents for doing whatever. You got attention from your science teacher. You got attention from everyone gave you accolades for how smart you were and how much you were able to get accomplished. And in that winning formula is actually what is holding you back. All of your strengths are the one thing that's actually holding you back from your one strength of what you're really here to do, which you're a visionary, right? The guy was obviously a visionary and understood technology and understood how to create it into a business. But all the things that he was good at, all those things he had to give up all those things. He had to pick one thing, right? What's the one genius that you are? What's your one thing? And if you focus on your one thing, you focus on your one genius, what you're really truly here to do on this planet. And you start to design your life around having support, getting developed in those areas, taking that course to make sure you become the greatest that you can be in that zone of genius. That is where your life is going to take a big leap. And so remembering again, Deepak Chopra's quote, commitment is the ultimate assertion of human freedom. It releases all the energy you possess and enables you to take quantum leaps in creativity. When you set one pointed intention and absolutely refuse to allow obstacles to dissipate the focus quality of your attention, you engage the infinite organizing power of the universe, right? Like, what's your big leap? So just knowing and taking a deep breath into the nose. Just say yes. I say yes to you taking a big leap. May you go beyond your fear. May you say yes to purchasing something just because you can, just to prove your subconscious and that fear wrong, right? I invite right now, knowing that there's something so great in you. There's such a gift and a genius, and art and innovation and invention in you. You are the great product. You are the quantum leap. You deserve to expand into a brilliant, huge container. I just know right now, going past the comfort zone, that there's magic, there's mystery, there's a life that you may not ever be able to experience if you don't get uncomfortable. So I say, push the bounds, trust, and faith. The universe has your back, right? There's something in you that organizes the entire universe. And it's with the power of decision, the power of what you're truly committed to at a cellular level. And it speaks into the eternity of time, knowing that you lived the greatest life. You fully gave yourself with love to what you truly are here to do. And I say, yes, may you live your purpose. May you live your legacy. May you love every drop of life, knowing that money is just simply a reflection of your own self-worth. And I know you are so worthy of having a great life. You are so worthy of having beautiful things. You are so worthy of being able to bring your gifts and help people on this planet. I simply know this in my mind and heart, as together we say, and so it is. Okay, you guys, if you have enjoyed this podcast, please, I ask that you give a review. Please, it would be very nice. It makes a difference in the world. And if you got, something out of this, please refer this podcast to a couple friends. People, we want all of our friends to rise up with us, to thrive together, to claim their birthright of prosperity as well. And you can go back and listen to all the other podcasts. There's other series in this, my podcast, of course. There's all the 52 universal laws. There's a series on my book, 40 series on awakening, spiritual awakening. There's series on spiritual entrepreneurship. There's all kinds of series here. Okay. So have a beautiful day and may you live your truth. Thank you for tuning in to Soulciety and Dr. Erin podcast. If you've had a calling to be a spiritual leader or coach, you can go to soulciety.com and check out our free training. If you've received value here, I would love it if you take a moment and give a 5-star review. In exchange, I have a ton of free gifts for you. Grab your free awakening book, 40 guided meditations, and digital manifesting masterclass. I also have a free money meditation and worksheet for you so you can begin to break through your scarcity mindset and claim your birthright of prosperity. You can get all of your gifts and learn about our upcoming transformational events in my bio link in both Instagram and Facebook. That's under drerin.tv, which is DRERIN.tv. Also, I'd love to invite you into our free private community on Facebook under groups called Soulciety. That is facebook.com/groups/Soulciety. That's SOULCIETE. Have a divine day and may you live your truth.